Alright guys, so this is going to be a little different. This comic review is going to be a little different in that we're going to be reviewing not one, but two comics from Zenescope. And both these comics come from my good friend, the Mount Vernon kid, Chris. Hope you're watching. Thank you for sending these. These came from the previous haul back in January. And you're probably wondering, well, why are you reviewing two comics at once? Like, you've never really done that. Why are you doing 2 in 1? Like a good old Marvel 2 in 1. Why is that, Multi? Well, reason being is because there's not really a lot I can talk about I'd be basically repeating myself with both comics. There wasn't really much I could say about them. So I decided, fuck it, I'll just do a 2 in 1 video and just kind of talk about it from there. Now, like I said, both these comics are from Zenescope, and they are Dark Shaman and Terminal Alice, respectively. And you may be wondering why I don't have the comics out here personally, is because Zenescope is kind of raunchy, so I decided to keep that at bay. I didn't want to, like, anger the YouTube gods, and, start a moral panic or whatever the fuck justification they have. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about Dark Shaman first, and then I'll talk about Terminal Alice. So let's get started with Dark Shaman. So Dark Shaman is basically a comic where it's set in the Grimm universe, which is where you get like Cinderella and, the darker versions of Cinderella, Robin Hood, and all of them. But it's like its own thing. Like, this was like a mini spin-off for it. This was like very much a mini spin-off for it, and it's basically about this girl, or this young woman, who along with her friends are out at a cabin in the woods. You've heard this before, but while there, they discover this ancient spirit of the brother of this shaman that the girl is reincarnated of. Now, this is a 4-part miniseries, people. This is very much a 4-part miniseries that really doesn't have a lot to say. It has nothing really big or major to say about it. There's really nothing. It goes way too fast. Like, for 4 comics, like, it feels like this should have been 6 issues. Like, this should have been a 6-issue miniseries, not a 4-part miniseries, because it does sell itself as like a horror comic. But at the same time, it's like there's no real horror. It's just first issue, someone dies. Second issue, fucking everyone dies. It's like we gotta get from point A to point B real fast. I'd snap my fingers, but I can't. So it's like we gotta hit the gas, and it's pretty anticlimactic by the end of it. There's some blood and gore in there, and your typical like TNA as part of the course for Zenescope. And I know Zenescope actually has like great stories outside of the TNA, but that's kind of the reason why I can't show it to you guys. It's rushed. The artwork's kind of a mess by the end of it, and yeah, it was just kind of dull. The same could be said for Terminal Alice, where in Terminal Alice, that story is about the 7 female hitwomen who are brought together after someone is putting a contract on all of them, and yeah. Now the plot sounds really interesting, right? Yeah, no. The artwork really took me out of it. Like, they are all drawn so similarly, and there's so many characters. Like, I forget who's talking and who's not. Like, I multiple points had to like stop the comic and be like, okay, who's who? And the artwork, oh, jumping Jesus, the artwork in here is so fucking bad. Like, I couldn't tell. Like, there's one person who's getting punched in the mouth, and it looks like they're moaning. Like, it's almost like fucking, what's his name? Greg Land artwork, only way shittier. Like, it's Greg Land high. Like, that's the best way I could describe it. It's Greg Land just high off of his fucking ass. That's the best way I could describe it. The story goes everywhere. There's magic involved out of nowhere. It's insane. Like, I don't understand a damn about any of this comic. I really don't. It's strange. The artwork was terrible. It felt more like it was trying to go for more like blood and sex and violence than an actual story. So it tried to be like a John Wick book, but it just didn't have the charm of it. So yeah, I hate the shit on these comics. I really do, because A, I like Zenescope, and B, Chris always wants me to read more of these comics, and I love reading them. And truth be told, there is another Zenescope comic he sent me that I really enjoyed. There's another one that I want to do a review of that I thoroughly enjoyed, but as it stands right now, these two were very much like, there's nothing I can really say. It's just the art was bad, the story ran way too fast, and the artwork was pretty shitty. The writing was all over the place. These two were just kind of bad, and you see why I just did a quick video on both comics, because there's really nothing I could say that could stretch this out longer than it needs to be. But Chris, as always, I know I kind of shit on these two, but I loved the rest of the comics you sent me, and I did love the other Zenescope comic you sent me, which I'll be doing a review of sometime soon. So, yeah, I've been really digging the Zenescope comics for the most part, and that was a nice little purge from these two. So yeah. Anyway, so once again, I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse, and I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.